According to the Chief Inspector of Schools, many children entering primary schools today appear less equipped to learn than they've ever been. Teachers claim there's no time to sort out poor language and social skills at Key Stage 1, when SATs lie just around the corner for these children.
I would say that without a doubt, in Britain today, we're starting formal education too soon. In terms of them coming into school, teachers find it very difficult because they feel they haven't time to concentrate on developing language, listening, attention skills. The tests and targets agenda has meant that they are feeling they've got to get on with getting children reading, writing, learning to wield a pencil and getting onto literacy as quickly as possible. In fact, it's probably counterproductive. It's more important that we develop the underpinning foundations of language, listening and attention.
So how could we better prepare our children for the challenges of Key Stage 1 literacy? During her 25 years in the Russian school system, teacher and researcher Galina Dolya was awarded the country's highest education honour. Her expertise lies in education for early years.
I can definitely tell what is happening in Russia, and I know that to the age of 5, the teachers are not allowed to teach children to write letters, and they work more on the underlying cognitive abilities and skills. And the reading and writing really comes naturally.
10 years ago, Galina arrived in the UK to introduce techniques for developmental education based on the work of Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky. Here at Galina's preschool nursery, play, especially children's self-initiated role play, is considered one of the most fruitful ways of developing the basic language and social skills underlying literacy and learning.
What you need is a balance of teacher-directed and child-initiated activities. Little children need to do things that interest them, and they will be very, very preoccupied and interested and will maintain concentration if it's their own interests they're following. They also need opportunities to do what the teacher says under more formal conditions, and a balance of the two is what's required. If you get good teacher-directed activities, the language that they pick up through their work with the teacher will be picked up and used in their own play, and that is really productive. But it's when they're playing that their language is at its highest. When children are engaged in activities that interest them, particularly role play, then they will use more complex vocabulary and more complex constructions.
If you eat one of these, I'll give you Marmite toast.
Can you help him eat it then, because he's finding it hard to hold it?
Rich opportunities for child-initiated learning are balanced with 20-minute teacher-led group activities. Deputy Manager Amanda is introducing this group of 3-year-olds to symbolic literacy, which lies at the heart of Galina's programme of learning.
Today I thought we'd do some reading, but reading to play music too. Now look, I've got some magic cards here, and they've got long strips and short, that's right. So when we see this, I'd like a big, loud noise. So what kind of noise will you play for this one?
Little.
A little noise or a quiet noise, that's right.
The ability of the child develops to read different schemes and to understand signs. So he knows if there is a long strip, then it represents a loud sound, and there is a short strip, a soft sound. And the children need to look at the diagram and to play. Like musician looks at the notes and understands what to play, or the letters what to read. It is again the same idea of the development of pre-reading skills.
Here we go.
Excellent. Give yourselves a clap. Well done.
Two Waters Primary School in Hertfordshire is the first state school in England to take on Galina's Vygotskian Key to Learning programme, to offer early years pupils a sound foundation for language and learning.
The Vygotsky comprises a number of different modules. One of them is on literacy, and they have some absolutely super ideas in there. When they do storytelling, you use symbols to represent the characters and the things that are involved in the story. And the children end up being able to tell the story without a single word on the page, but through the use of symbols. So when you move them on to introducing letters, etc., and words, it seems to flow really very naturally. And I like the way that they are not threatened in any way by language initially, so that they have this lovely confidence in telling stories. So by the time they get to year one, they are really ready to take off and start writing and reading.
What story might I be thinking of if you see these characters? The Three Bears and who?
The Goldilocks.
That's it, well done, Goldilocks. Now, do you think you could help me?
Engendering a love of stories at this age is essential. Foundation Stage Coordinator Susanna Lyons is returning to a familiar story with a group from her reception class.
While they're walking in the woods, what happened?
She eats the porridge and sits on the chairs and breaks the baby bears.
Oh, she's naughty.
And she sleeps on all the beds. That the daddy one is too hard and the mummy one is too soft, and the baby one's is just right.
That's right, Haida said.
Susanna's going to apply a symbolic technique called story grammar.
During these sessions, the children learn how to substitute the real objects by different shapes. If it is three bears, so there will be a big circle daddy bear and middle-sized circle mommy bear and the baby bear. And then it is like a symbol theatre. Instead of first, the teacher uses as a lot different friendly props and puppets as possible, but then one day they disappear. And for the child, this symbol or shape becomes that character.
These are funny signs. What could these be for? What's there three of in the Three Bears?
The bears.
There's the bears, so what could these be?
Bears.
Bears, because look, are they all the same size?
No.
Oh, they're not. So this one, who could this
Baby bear.
Baby bear. Now, because we're making a map of it, if this is a sign for baby bear, what we need to do, we need to put it on the blue piece of paper, but in the same place as baby bear is on the orange.
For example, in the story of the Little Red Riding Hood, you have a Little Red Riding Hood at her mother, and then Little Red Riding Hood meets the wolf, wolf goes to the grandmother, sort of what are the key points, main points of the story. And then the children analyze the story and they create these models, or it can be the Three Billy Goats graph, or the Three Little Pigs, and you can start it not with the diagrams first, but you can ask the child maybe to draw what are the main events in the story, and then you start substituting.
So we've made this picture of the Three Bears, and here we've made a
Map.
What have we used here instead of pictures? We've used... Can you remember that word beginning?
Symbols.
Wow, we've used symbols instead of pictures. That was very, very clever of you.
Nursery children at Two Waters are learning left to right directional reading through fun activities like symbol dance.
Right, so here we need to... What do we need to do? Jump.
This is now what we call symbol dance, and it is really the action of coding and decoding. For me, it is straight pre-reading.
Hop again. And last of all, hop again. Well done. You're very good at remembering those signs.
For some children, secure motor control and hand-eye coordination seem to come naturally. Others, especially boys, need help developing these skills for handwriting.
Ready to wake your tired hands up and your fingers? Fingers like to wiggle, waggle.
This artographic session, led by Galina's nursery manager Carrie, is designed to develop fine motor coordination.
Open. shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap. Would you like to take one, Teddy, and pass it on?
Vygotsky talked a lot about the external mediators, and we use a lot of them. We introduce to the children the writing ring, and the writing ring is the external mediator which helps the child to remember that the only finger which goes on the top of the pencil or a pen is the one which has the writing ring. And you can draw a little flower here, and the pencil will be a butterfly. You can tell a lot of wonderful stories, and I know that each teacher has his own story how to introduce it.
I like my ring.
Right, now do you remember something that you were very, very good at last time, and that was making ladders? And we're going to do it quite quickly on our boards, and then we're going to paint them because you are so good. Ready to watch? Got one long line, and another very long line, and then you've got lots of lines in between. What could it be?
A train track.
It could be. Can you think of anything else it might be? Turn it round and make a ladder, couldn't we? Anything else it could be?
Stairs.
Maybe it could be stairs, Tommy, yeah? What about a fence round your house? Do you think you could do that for me?
I know a lot of parents who come to the Key2 Learning program, and we explain to them what we are doing, but still they worry so much about reading and writing, because some parents only know something happens in child's learning if you have letters written on the piece of paper which you take home. But there are so many other programs and activities what you can do with the child, when then they will be doing it naturally and will be able to learn anything.
The innovative practices adopted in early years by Two Waters School have helped lay some of the foundations for reading and writing.
OK, children, this morning we're going to be reading a story of
Mig
the Pig, OK? If you can join in with the rhyming words, see if you can, OK? So we've got Mig the Pig.
I love my wig.
OK. Listen carefully then, Bryn.
I love my wig.
OK. Do you know Mig the
Pig?
By year one, the pupils seem ready to enjoy the challenges of a more structured literacy hour.
Who is the fairest in the
Land.
They're now building on the foundations using their phonics.
G? Can you find a G to put with an ig?
And they're all well on their way to becoming readers and writers.
One's looking at nursery school, starting with the singing and the music and the rhyming, and then getting on to little phonic activities as quickly as we can. I think the good news is that it is perfectly possible to develop their language. There seems to be a window which is very wide open to the age of about 6.
My hope is, with all of the strategies that we now use, that no child will ever leave this school without reading and writing. No child has yet, I have to say, and no child, I hope, ever will do. And that's really important to us.